Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Xbox On, and in this video you're gonna have an awesome chance to win this incredible controller bundle, but you're gonna have to stick around to find out how.
So this prize has got us thinking about the greatest controllers in Xbox history, so let's take a look.
Let's go back to where it all began, November 15th, 2001, and the arrival of the original Xbox controller. The controller, nicknamed the Duke, was an absolute beast of a design, with the large stretch of plastic in the middle, great for showing off that Xbox logo, which when you think about it, it was the size of a small plate. In fact, the Duke was given the Guinness World Record for the largest controller, which is absolutely crazy. Most of the features that we've come to know and love were already in place, such as the dual analog sticks, which were perfect for kicking ass in Halo, and obviously the iconic face buttons. The small black and white buttons handled the kind of duties that would later be shifted to the shoulder bumpers. If you ever played Knights of the Old Republic, for example, you'll remember using those buttons to pause and unpause combat, which that one game, for me, almost wore the buttons out. But the Duke wasn't around for long because of our next controller.
When the Xbox released in Japan in February 2002, it didn't arrive with the Duke, but a smaller model known as the Controller S. This is much closer to the controller design we know today. The analog sticks, D-pad, and face buttons have shifted to better positions, and the whole thing was just more comfortable in the hand. Bill Gates appeared on a famous poster comparing the controller's size to a burger. The Controller S was as easy to hold, it just wasn't as nice to eat. The sleek design proved so popular that it replaced the Duke in the West later that year. This particular model is the Crystal design that came with the limited edition Crystal Xbox, released in March 2005 to celebrate the console's 2-year anniversary. Yes, we know that a Crystal anniversary is meant to be 15 years, but it looks cool, so just roll with it, yeah?
Does this controller really need any introduction? How many hours have we spent with our hands wrapped around one of these bad boys? It has to be one of the most comfortable controllers in video game history, taking the shape of the Xbox Controller S and transforming the slightly awkward black and white buttons into comfortable shoulder bumpers. Here was a controller where finally every button was an easy reach. The port on the base of the controller made it easy to attach accessories, whether you were plugging in a headset for chat or a tiny keyboard add-on for when you needed to type some longer hate mail after a particularly bruising teabagging in Halo 3. If you were one of those people, I will find you. And in the middle of the controller is the guide button, the pulsing heart of the controller, and also a very easy way to turn on your console. Some would argue it was never bettered, as it's still personally one of my favorite controllers of all time. Though, of course, Microsoft obviously tried.
Yes, in November 2010, Microsoft gave us a 360 controller with a literal twist. Swiveling the D-pad caused it to transform from the traditional circle pad of the common 360 controller to a raised D-pad that better emphasized the 4 directions. It meant the pad could offer you directional precision for tight platformers or easy circular motions for pulling off your fireballs in Street Fighter 4. More importantly, it's just cool to see the pad transform like that. We could do it all day long, but for the sake of the video, we won't. This matte silver design is also notable for being the first controller to change the color of the face buttons, something that would become much more common in later special editions. The controller became even cooler in May 2012 when Xbox released a series of chrome designs. These metallic versions came in blue, silver, gold, and black, but for my money, you can't beat this chrome red design. So shiny.
The transforming D-pad also appears on this limited edition pad, released with the limited edition Halo 4 Xbox 360. The pad features a neat translucent design, letting you see all the controller's guts whirring beneath the surface. It looks like something that belongs in a science fiction film, so it's a pretty good fit for Halo. What I really love about this controller is the inclusion of a special blue guide button, replacing the traditional green glow with something more befitting of the game's art style. When it lights up, it makes the guide button look like it's powering the whole pad along the blue stripes. A really cool effect and one of the most awesome controllers in Xbox history.
Now, from one sci-fi legend to another. This is the Star Wars C-3PO pad released in April 2012 alongside the limited edition Star Wars console bundle. Where the main machine was designed to mimic R2-D2, this pad replicates the poshest robot in the galaxy. I love everything about this pad. The mirrored gold color perfectly captures C-3PO's look, and if you look under the base of the pad, you can see his wiring peeking through, just like the real suit. The only thing that would make this controller any more authentic was if pressing the guide button made a random Anthony Daniels soundbite play. For the sake of our sanity, this isn't the case.
Now this is the rarest controller on the list, an original Xbox One controller given to Microsoft employees who worked on the Xbox. See how it says I made this in the middle? We stole this particular one off Graeme. I wonder if he'll ever want it back. The Xbox One controller had a tough job. How do you improve on the 360 design? The team at Xbox spent over $100 million reworking the controller, testing out touchpads, cameras, and speakers. They even tried a model that emitted smells. Probably for the best that didn't happen. I like Marcus Fenix, but I don't want to smell the dude. The final design is packed with improvements. There's the textured grip and ease of movement of the analog sticks, the precision input of the four-way D-pad, eliminating any doubt of which direction you are pressing. The lettering of the face buttons is clearer, making it easier for new players to identify buttons by name, not just color. Just this one effect of letters floating inside the button cost millions to design. The team really thought of everything. Perhaps our favourite feature of the controller, however, are the range of tiny motors inside the triggers, allowing for a directional rumble effect that lets your fingers tell the difference between the throb of a heartbeat, the rattle of a machine gun, or the sensation of a car wheel running over gravel. It's easy to take things for granted when you're using it every day, but this controller is an all-time great.
In June 2015, the Xbox One controller got its first makeover, shortening the bumpers, setting the power button into the main body of the controller, and most importantly, adding a 3.5mm headphone jack. You could now kiss your headset adapter goodbye and control your volume and mic chat through options added to the Xbox One interface. The redesign was soon followed by this gorgeous pair of Halo 5 Guardians themed controllers. One was modelled on the Master Chief, mimicking the military green of his armour and adding the gold chrome of his visor to the D-pad. The face buttons are also drained of their usual colour, because you know the Master Chief hasn't got time to be messing around with no Skittles coloured buttons. Thankfully, the whole pad is in slightly better condition than his banged up armour in game. It's an absolute stunner. And if you played Halo 5 and ended up siding with Spartan Locke, then you can get your hands on his model too. This model draws inspiration from Locke's grey and blue armour, with the absolutely gorgeous blue chrome D-pad seriously making us question our allegiance with the Chief. Both of the pads come with codes for exclusive in-game customization items, so would it be so bad if you ended up buying them both? Now, the only question remains, when is Halo Wars 2's Captain Cutter getting his controller, complete with detachable beard? Make it happen, Xbox wizards!
At E3 2015, Microsoft unveiled what has to be the daddy of all Xbox controllers, the Elite controller. As the name suggests, it's all about catering to the more elite gamers, offering a level of customization and performance-boosting tweaks. For starters, both the analog sticks and D-pad can be switched for alternate designs that better suit your purposes. Flip it over and you'll find 4 slots for paddles, which let you map buttons to the paddles so they're at your very fingertips, meaning you don't ever have to remove your thumbs from the analog sticks, which will save you precious milliseconds during a gunfight. An Xbox One update gave you the option to remap the controller through the console, so it's no way near as complicated as you might think. If, like me, you're mainly using the Elite controller for first-person shooters, you can also activate the hair trigger lock, which reduces the distance you have to pull the triggers, meaning you can shoot much faster, and even if you're not a pro gamer, the Elite controller feels amazing to use. I'm also a big fan of the Gears of War 4 Special Edition. The D-pad has the Gears weapon loadouts already printed on it, but it'll still need some impressive gameplay to avoid getting sawn into tiny pieces again and again, but I like to think the Elite gives you a better fighting chance.
The arrival of the Xbox One S gave us the most recent update to the Xbox One controller. With the textured grips of the underside charming our fingertips, it's the inside where the real magic happens. The pad has increased wireless range and supports Bluetooth for easier connection with Windows 10 devices. But as much as we love the original white design with its striking black buttons, it's the Gears of War 4 Special Edition pad that really won us over. Like the Halo pads before them, you get a choice of two. Did you want to go with the crimson Omen pad? This one really looks like it's been through the wars. There are bloodstains on the red body, the button lettering looks scratched in by hand, and there's the small matter of the claw marks across the controller's face, a process that looks as vicious as actually being attacked by the swarm. The JD Fenix pad is less battered, but you'd expect that for a pad based on the soldier's armor. The design also uses laser etching to capture the detail of JD's outfit, with bolt holes and cracks added to the surface. It's a pair of controllers that no collection can live without.
Alright guys, it's now the time you've been waiting for, competition time. All you need to do to enter is let us know in the comments what you think is the greatest controller in Xbox history, and you can win the Xbox Media Remote, the JD Fenix controller, the Crimson Omen controller, and also the white Xbox Wireless controller.
And you can also win the Dawn Shadow controller, which is my personal favorite, and the black and blue wireless controllers along with the headset. So this entire bundle all together.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of stuff. So remember, enter below in the comments, greatest controller in Xbox history, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content.
And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. That's so weird to do with the controller.